1895 revolver from his period of service in the Soviet military. He had kept it clean, well-oiled, and concealed beneath a floorboard in the bedroom. Mrs. Bondarchuk had used it only once, when a vagrant entered the house and attempted to rape her mother. Mrs. Bondarchuk, or Elena Tikhonov as she was formerly known, before the changes to her name wrought by emigration, anglicization, and marriage, shot him in the chest, and later helped her father and mother to bury the remains in the forest. She was 12 years old. Then, as now, she was untroubled by what she had done. The vagrant was bad, and had she not acted as she did, he would undoubtedly have hurt or murdered her mother, and possibly Elena too, before going on to commit further degenerate acts. And yes, the sixth commandment declared thou shalt not kill, but Mrs. Bondarchuk had always believed that Moses, in returning from Mount Sinai, had neglected to bring with him a final tablet, the one containing all the fine print, possibly because his arms were already full. Mrs. Bondarchuk had never shared with another soul outside her immediate family the details of the killing, not with her late husband, whom she had loved dearly, and not even with the two men who owned the building in which she lived, although she was certain that they at least would have understood. There was, she felt, no particular benefit to be gained from raising the subject. The vagrant, after all, was dead, and a confession was unlikely to alter that fact. Mrs. Bondarchuk was also in possession of a clear conscience on the matter, and while she might, in the years that followed, have occasionally contemplated shooting someone else, certain politicians, for example, or particularly patronizing shopgirls, she had managed to resist the temptation, helped in large part by not being in possession of a suitable weapon. All in all, it was probably for the best that her landlords had not agreed to provide her with a gun. Shooting someone in extremis might be forgivable, but one shouldn't make a habit of it, regardless of provocation. And here they came now, Mr. Louis and Mr. Angel, these two men whom she adored like errant sons, the first tall and black, the second short and, well, white-ish. He had lately been so ill, her Mr. Angel, and he had already suffered so much. This Mrs. Bondarchuk had always intuited from his face and eyes. He was recovering, though, even if he was now slower than before. His partner, too, regarded him differently, as if the sickness had reminded him that in no time at all one of them must inevitably be parted from the other, and whatever days remained to them were better spent in accord. But at least they were not alone. They had friends. There was the private detective, Mr. Parker, who brought her candy from Maine, and the two brothers, Tony and Polly Fulci, who were so gentle for such big men, and whom she could not imagine hurting a fly. Other people, possibly, perhaps even probably, but not a fly. And they, in turn, had Mrs. Bondarchuk, who prayed for Mr. Louis and Mr. Angel every night. She prayed that they might have a good death, one marked by ritual and a proper burial, and therefore the salvation of the soul, and not a bad death, an internment in some pit without a blessing or a marker, in the manner of a wandering rapist. Death was the inescapable path. One's thoughts were over the mountains, but death was always behind one's shoulder. Death was an old woman who slept in hell, and took her instructions from God. She was inevitable, but not implacable. She could be spoken to and negotiated with. Amuse her, interest her, and she might move on. Mr. Louis and Mr. Angel, Mrs. Bondarchuk believed, greatly amused death. Angel waved to Mrs. Bondarchuk as they approached the stairs leading to the door of their building. "Do you think Mrs. Bondarchuk has ever killed anyone?" he said. "Definitely," said Louis. "No doubt in your mind?" "None at all." "I thought it was just me." "Nah, she's killed someone for sure. Shot them is my guess." Remember that time she suggested...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.